Welcome back, my fellow agents. It is I, X7, your agent of awesome action and the host of Zenorama, the podcast of Heroes and Monsters. Today is Shaolin Saturday, and we are going to be looking at a ostensibly kung fu movie, which has nothing to do with Shaolin, but that's all right. Having said that, it's a modern action movie. Well, a modern from 50 plus 50 years ago, 50, 60, 70 years ago, from 1977, almost 70 years ago. It is The Deadly Angels, which was an answer, well, kind of a ripoff, kind of an homage to the mid 70s massive hit that was Charlie's Angels, but this has nothing to do with that, except for the fact that they've got four women, three really, that are kicking butt. Having said all that, let's get ready to roll and judo chop. All right. Based on the trailer alone, which we will hear some of, if not a lot of, like this, but
Meet the Deadly Angels. Meet four of the most beautiful women in the world. Meet four of the most deadly females alive.
based on this trailer that I saw in the Good Times Bruce Lee and Kung Fu Mania, both VHS and DVD, which I think I've reviewed, yes. I thought this movie would be, kind of a Hong Kong Shaw Brothers version of Charlie's Angels. Why wouldn't I think that? Here's our star. Dana there was in the Shaw Brothers version of Ultraman slash Kamen Rider slash Kikaida, which is amazing. That would be Inframan. She is the she demon. And I thought, well, this is going to be great. Evelyn Kraft is in Mighty Peking Man, aka Goliathon, and was in Lady Dracula or something or another like that. But alas, I finally got to see a copy of it many years ago. The first time I've seen this twice now, and the first time I was not impressed because Evelyn doesn't do a lot in it. I thought, well, maybe she'll be in it like Richard Harrison was in Marco Polo, aka The Four Assassins, but and she's about in it that much. So it only runs 93 minutes, and it took me all day to watch this damn thing. The story essentially is there's a diamond smuggling ring running out of both Tokyo and Korea and Singapore and Hong Kong, all around that area. As you can see, Tokyo International Airport. I've included a lot of pictures here. And they have women smuggle them in, and then rapidly, this guy with the knife, who's one of the main villains, kills him because he's deadly with a knife. He is the Hawkeye of knife throwers, don't you know? So, yeah.
The Deadly Angels.
Now, this woman here has a pet Komodo dragon or a monitor lizard that she feeds poison, cuts open snakes and feeds their poison to. And she's the villain. They're going to rob the Prince Jewelry, Jewelry. That's an actual building. Well, probably not an actual building. It's an actual building, but not an actual store. But and they just go around. He sees there. He's killing people, except he just wounds this guy. He's still alive with all his makeup on. There's a son who will play in later. I think that's Tony Liu. Obviously, Evelyn Kraft is in here. Nancy Yen is the woman that you can't see. This movie's really, really sleazy. There's a lot of nudity in it. I mean, a fair amount of nudity, which I've cut out. And the animal cruelty is there. It's just a different culture. I get it. They probably did eat the Komodo dragon afterward. Once again, it's the culture. And that's his mom, shot by robbers. There she is. Yang Chi is played by Nancy Yen, and she's the one who doesn't. No, she's already had her clothes off. None of the the Shaw Brothers stalwart women are in here. No Lily Lee, no Shizu, no that one that worked with. I just watched in. We just reviewed in Marshall Club. You know who she is, Cara Hugh. Pardon me. She's not none of these because they don't won't just strip down for anyone. Once again, it's a lot sleazier than most of them. Oh, did we even see who the director was? Boom, zoom, 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 zoom. Pao Shu Lee. I don't know what else he's directed, but I don't know that I'd be that interested in it too much. See if I can find out a little bit more. Pao Shu Lee has directed what? The Imperial Matchmaker, The Boxer from Shantung, The Delightful Forest, Avenging Dragon. It looks like his career stopped at about 1986, but I don't see any that I've actually seen in here. Samurai Bells of Death. So Invisible Boxer. That might be. These might be interesting. This is more of a basher. The Delightful Forest, which I do think's got a pretty good reputation. Finger of Doom. Is that like the finger poke of Doom from WCW? Anyway, so they're robbing this, and once again, they stab him. That's his son. They're on their way, and she's like, okay. They have called her in, which is Charlie right there. They bring in a colleague from Scotland Yard, Miss Eve, which is Evelyn Craft, who, the late Evelyn Craft, of course, your humble agent, shares a birthday with her. So I am fond of her, just for that reason alone. So she's the Charlie, really. The Chinese introduced, there's Yang Chi Sin, who we've met already. And then we go to Cao Chen Chen, who was played by Chan Len Chin. And finally, Liu Ping, that is Dana, who was the she demon in the excellent, as well you know, I love love me some Inframan. Always will, always have, always will. So they sent him undercover to the IMDb. The three female detectives from Hong Kong, Korea, and Singapore go undercover in a cabaret to expose a murderer. That's really simplified since he's, a smuggler and all that. But there is a murderer there. So they show off their skills. They shoot a bunch of targets. Then they beat up a bunch of, fellow police members. I, kicking with high heels on. Their martial arts are pretty good. They do a good job. As we saw, Tong Chia directed the martial arts sequences, and I believe, whoops, there she is. That is Nancy Yen, who's got the Skabendeka type ball that spikes come out of, and she uses it quite well. But it's not Skabendeka, of course. But that's they really, really should have leaned.
They know every way there is to capture, love, and kill their man. An international diamond smuggling ring is the target.
So they really see an international diamond smuggling ring, not a murderer in a cabaret. But they really should have leaned into the whole Charlie's, homage to Charlie's Angels angle, and or ripoff, and just done a lot more action scenes because after this one, it's like a half an hour before we see any more action. And even then, it's just really short fight scenes until that final third act where it kicks into high gear. And that, people will remember that. But it could have been so much better. Inframan did not do that. And really. But they're friends now. They're going to, tonight, throw a party. Whoop woo! There's our villainous, disguised as a nurse, and kills the dad. So I think that's Tony Liu, who's um, the guy that's in here. You'll see him in some interesting clothes. Um, Off they go. Now they're having another meeting, blah, blah, blah. So we get to know people. Look at those. I do not miss those 70s glasses, I'll tell you what.
Death and Diamonds is the name of the game. And the game doesn't stop until all the players are busted.
So, and they're not wrong. There is a lot of violence, and I said a lot of nudity, but, just a lot of implied wannabe rapers, as well as just guys that are, happy with their women. But, so there you go. It's a beautiful, I believe this print came probably from, I don't know where it came from. As of 2019, it had not been released on Blu-ray or DVD in the States. Now, this may be there. These are all dub titles, which means they're exactly word for word what the dub says. So anyone who wants to see their nuanced Chinese, um, performances is out of luck. So there's her. She's working with the knife thrower, and there's her outfit. And this guy wants to, thinks one of them's a prostitute. She burns the money, and there he is. And then we get to see his knife throwing prowess. And that one I want to say is Kao Chen Chen, who's supposed to be Korean. She gets accosted by a bunch of thugs, sets one on fire. Is about before things are bad about to happen. Evelyn and her group shows up. Here she gives a dot jong, or a slap to a guy. She does really well. She's in great shape, but she's not a martial artist, but she does what they ask her to. And her makeup is perfect, but here she a slide and trips this guy, and then they arrest them all. So here she is getting the demonstration, and there's the he looks drunk, doesn't he? She's watching as well because she's keeping track of things. I did not remember her being in this as much as Evelyn, be Miss Eve. Really creative there, guys. Being in the movie as much as she is, but I'm glad about it. We're birthday twins. Another finally an hour in, another fight scene breaks out, and she's fighting in a sparkly bikini. The wannabe boyfriend's there. I liked him smacking the guy with the no smoking sign. But once again, Miss Eve dresses her down for being not incompetent but careless. Lovely house there. They're starting to figure things out. Another fight scene again. It starts kicking in. An hour, 40, 50 minutes in, we get more and more fight scenes, which again they should have done more often. I would like this show a lot more. It's only a 2-minute trailer. This guy's using a chain whip, and he's no David Chang using it. I'll tell you what, she beats him, but they all get wounded a lot in here, and the police show up, and they rounded up the whole damn gang. All right, there we're back to Hong Kong. That was in Seoul. That's
But deadly angels follow a diamond trail that glitters with the glow of death.
Gotta love the trailers for these. There he is in his lovely, lovely jacket. That's Lee, and he wants revenge for his dad because they killed him. And I believe this gentleman here we know from the 36th Chamber of Shaolin. Uh, but I can't, once again, Blake will come to my rescue as we find out, during this fight. There's her spiked ball on the chain, which is a great. It's not a. It's kind of a flail, but I don't know what you'd call it. One of those esoteric weapons, but she wields it perfectly. But he has got a butterfly sword, which is what he used against Sante in 36th Chamber, aka Master Killer. But the bag looks here. There it is. Right. He only has one though, so they interrogate him, and then our second woman comes back and goes to the bad guy. This one, she tries to get the monitor lizard to poison her. Monitor lizards have very toxic saliva because of the crap they eat, especially Komodo dragons. They're not poisonous, but if they bite you, you better clean that shit out right away.
It will take you across forbidden boundaries into the world of international smuggling, murder, and death.
God, World Northall just, that would have gotten me into the movie house had I been old enough in 1977. But I don't know if I'd have been disappointed or not because, a 12-year-old seeing boobies in 1977 would have worked. That's supposed to be how she gets poisoned by its bite. They blow its head off. Now, it looks like they killed the real monitor lizard, so I neglected to show that. Evelyn does that. But there they are arresting this gang. So she must go to sauna to find Lu Ping. Why she's going to a sauna? There's Lu Ping. That's not Lu Ping. Maybe it is. And this guy's trying to rape her, but they're like, the cops are on. Let's go. We got to get out of the way. That's Miss Cow there with her shoe that turns into a deadly slingshot because it causes things to explode. She's got explosives in there. Think of the Wild Wild West when Jim West would, empty his lifts in his extra tall boots, the heels in his boots. So it does kick into high gear here, and it's a violent fight. It's like I said, it's more basher than kung fu, which is perfect for this sort of movie because they're fighting for their lives. I just like the wide angle shot of this. There was a German DVD or Blu-ray out of this, so this might be from there. I don't know. I wouldn't want it really. I hate to say that, but I don't want the movie. And there's, look, it's a masked rider. And another kaboom. And this one is deadly with her crossbow, or not crossbow. What the hell is that thing? Is it a crossbow? Maybe. But think Huntress of the DC Comics when she was still Batman and Catwoman's daughter. At least he's out of his. Yeah, the trailer is something else. So it'll be on at the end of the show here. Explosions and death and violence all abound. The good guys, Evelyn shows up and she's got high heels on and she's running through sand. I wonder how many times that take took. And now he's got 4 knives. There's 4 of them, but she comes flying through. I'm thinking that's a stunt double, but it might not be. She stops the knives with a pillow, of all things. I think that unless they had springs in them, they probably would have went right through it. And then as a rocket launcher, kaboom! See, if this would have been the movie all the way through, they could have left out a lot of the nonsense. They just could have done it a little better. Made it closer to Charlie's Angels, but with more action than Charlie's Angels. And it's just so sleazy. I don't mind the blood. I'm used to Shaw Brothers. Chong Ches, bloody as hell. You all know that. And she's about to blow him up. And then she does. And I left out the explosion. You can see a wire in this frame here where one of the bodies is a fake body is pulled up, but they're dead. DED dead. There, she's happy. They all thank each other, and the end. So I'm not going to say 93 minutes lasted all day, but it lasted all day. I am going to say it. It was a long movie to get through. I really wanted to like this movie a lot more than I did, but I couldn't. So, finally, a Shaolin Kung Fu movie, or a Kung Fu movie that doesn't last 20 minutes, probably. I don't really know. But there is the lovely the late Evelyn Crumb. Look at those guns on her. No. Why? I don't know why I would have chosen that. So, agents, until tomorrow, when we review The Mysterious Island that Ray Harryhausen did and might mention Agent DA a time or two, this is X7 signing off and phasing out.
Meet the Deadly Angels. Meet 4 of the most beautiful women in the world. Meet 4 of the most deadly females alive. The Deadly Angels. They know every way there is to capture, love, and kill their man. An international diamond smuggling ring is the target. Death and Diamonds is the name of the game. And the game doesn't stop until all the players are busted. The Deadly Angels follow a diamond trail that glitters with the glow of death. It will take you across forbidden boundaries into the world of international smuggling, murder, and death. facet of big power and destruction. Don't miss the Deadly Angels. They know how to get their man. They know how to turn you on. See The Deadly Angels, distributed by World Northpole Corporation, rated R.